This is going to be a very long intro for this Runeterra video, but it is very, very important. I've wanted to bring this video to you guys for a long time, and I'm so excited that it's finally here. Welcome to something that I'm dubbing Runeterra Errors for the time being, and we'll get into names in a bit. Essentially, this is a pilot episode for what I hope will be the beginning of an entire series for this channel. For those of you that followed my Eternal content, you'll be very familiar with what this video is all about. This is effectively Eternal Errors, but for Legends of Runeterra instead. For those new to this idea, this will be a video where we look over some misplays that I've made during games and talk about what I could have done differently in those situations, with the goal being to get better as players. Now, previously when I did these videos for Eternal, they would focus on a specific deck. But this first Runeterra episode won't be doing that. Instead, I want to ask one big favor from you guys. I want you to be involved in picking a name for this series. So, if you come up with a name for this series, leave that name as a comment in the comment section below. If any of you want to vote on the names that others come up with, check out the comment section. And if you see a name you like, go ahead and upvote that comment. I will check back on all the names people came up with in the comments a week from today, and whichever name has the most upvotes will be the name I go with for what we're calling this series. For those curious, there were two other names I came up with, and I'll probably leave those in the comment section as well. I thought about Runeterrors, since it rolls off the tongue pretty well, but that name honestly sounds like a League of Legends Halloween special to me every time I think about it. Then I thought about calling it Puntover and Zon, since it's a play off the Piltover name, but with the word punt instead, because usually when someone misplays in a card game, it's referred to as a punt. But then I thought that'd be too cheesy, so I'm asking you guys instead. Anyway, most of these scenarios are from my Twitch stream, so let's jump in and see what we can learn from them. The first game we'll be taking a look at is actually an expedition game I had. I managed to draft a Fiora Shen deck, and I had a pretty nice advantage after I swing in for 10 with my elusive units until my opponent floods the board with Crawling Sensation at the end of the round. Then they follow up with a Brood Awakening, maxing out their board with spider tokens and buffing them. Here they decide to swing in for damage. Let's listen in and see how I react to the situation.
Don't want any trouble.
Where are you going?
Oh. I did it wrong, I guess. So it turns out that when using Stand United, if you're on defense, you need to make sure to use it first before declaring blockers, since it's a burst spell. If you declare blockers, then cast the spell, the units will swap and go back to the bench, and you'll need to declare blockers again. I've always been taught to wait until after blockers are declared to cast spells like instants and fast spells from Magic the Gathering and Eternal, so this is just a habit that I'll need to break for Runeterra. I was a little salty about it at the time, but it's just the way the game treats Stand United in that particular situation. If I was the attacker though, it'd be a different story. I could wait until my opponent declared blockers, then Stand United to swap a big unit that did get blocked with, say, a smaller unit that they didn't block, and the bigger unit would deal damage to the Nexus instead. Next, we've got a ranked game against a Dawn Spider's deck. After seeing the first Dawn Speaker come down, I go ahead and play my Vanguard Sergeant. Then my opponent drops a second Dawn Speaker. I go ahead and play a buffed Laurent Protege from hand, and I originally planned to use 4 Demacia, attack, and challenge one of the Dawn Speakers. But let's listen in and see what I end up doing. Yeah, it's the League of Legends card game. Yeah, open beta starts in like an hour and a half. But if you played in the preview patch, or if you signed up before the 19th of this month, then you got to get in a day early. So that's why I'm playing now, because I got in the patch back in November. are they?
That egg, did it move?
You call this a kite? Hardly fair.
I wanted to pull one of the Dawn speakers, but I don't want this to trade with my Sergeant. I just don't. So I end up switching gears and challenge the 6/4 token instead so it doesn't block my buffed Vanguard Sergeant. In hindsight, I think I should have handled this one differently. Instead of doing what I did, I could have played the Protege, then played Laurent Bladekeeper afterwards, buffing the Protege, and then only attack with the Protege, challenging one of the Dawn speakers. This would still give me a superior board position with a 5/5 Protege for what would be their 7/5 token, and the rest of my board still being bigger than theirs even after one Dawn speaker buff. This also would mean I get to keep 4 Demacia in hand for a better turn. Finally, we've got a situation from a game that's admittedly an older one. This one is not from a Twitch stream. It's a gameplay recording from one of the preview patches I played in, but it was still something I wanted to highlight for this video. So here, I'm at a sizable advantage on board. I stun my opponent's 4-2 in order to get Yasuo to take it out, leaving only the Kinko Lifeblade. But on my next move, I decide to go ahead and Culling Strike the Lifeblade as well before attacking. If I remember right, my thinking process at the time was that I just wanted to get the lifesteal unit off the board, so my opponent couldn't block and gain health at the same time. I did have 22 damage on board, which was lethal. But the real reason I wanted to bring this up was I wanted to ask what you guys would do in this situation. One thing worth mentioning is that our opponent does have 8 total cards in hand, 7 of them being unknown. We're always taught in card games to set up lethal, which Culling Strike did do. But playing the Culling Strike did give my opponent an opportunity to play an answer to my board before I was able to attack with it. Maybe they have something like True Shot Barrage in hand. Anyway, what would you guys have done? Culling Strike now for potential lethal, or don't give our opponent a chance to play a slow spell like True Shot Barrage and just attack? Let me know in the comments. And that is it for this pilot episode of what I'm calling Runeterra Errors for now. But again, if you come up with a cool name for this series, let me know what it is in the comment section below. For the rest of us, check out the comment section for those names and upvote the ones you like. I will go with the name with the most upvotes a week from now. Anyway, if you liked the video and want to see more videos like this, feel free to give it a like below. And if you want to guarantee that you don't miss any future videos, subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell below to stay informed. Thank you all so much for the support you've given me, and thanks for taking time out of your day to watch this. I'll see you all soon. Take care.